Hello and welcome back to another episode of Under Center with Jake Russell. I'm your host and voice of Tiger football, Collin Sheffield. Alongside me following the 2-0 start, head coach Jake Russell. Coach Russell, you go on the road, a far bus ride after a big win in Pikeville, and you take another one 28-10 against Weber. The drive home, as much as it is so tiring, 15 hours, it's got to feel good coming back after a win. It's a lot better than a loss, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a very mature win from our program. Our guys, they handled the trip very well. 2 full days down there. Obviously, the heat, being pretty hot down there. Didn't get any relief, no clouds, no overcast, even that was maybe in the forecast. And I thought they handled it really well. Definitely some things left on the table. We want to figure out a way to get our guys to just take that extra step and kind of pull away there and make that a 4 or 5 touchdown game. But at the end of the day, I don't think you ever look back on a season at the end of the year, even in 2 and 3 years, and think, well, it was a 28-10 win, but, should have been a 38-10 or 48-10. In the moment, you feel like that. But at the end of the day, the goals that we have for this season, the big thing is, coming back from that trip 2-0.
And that heat was no joke. It actually burned out some of our equipment on there, so I apologize to the people at home that kind of got a little messed up spot there. But other than that, the Tiger defense was heating things up on the field. They had 3 interceptions. You had one freshman come in, I think it was his very first time on the field, gets an interception. You started the half with a pick 6. The very next drive for Weber, another interception from Josiah Harris. That defense was flying around the field.
Yeah, we had went through a game and a half there where we just couldn't quite get any big momentum-changing plays, and not just on defense, special teams and offense as well. And we had the one in the U-Pike game with the inadvertent whistle that would have fell into that category. And it was kind of funny. I just said into the headset to some of our coaches, like, man, we need a big momentum-changing play, a turnover or whatever it is. And then Ellis gets the pick 6, and you could just feel at that point the tide changing. They go out and get another interception. But the defense did a phenomenal job. They had a couple really good running backs and a good running game. They'll run the ball well all year. But the defense did a great job, pitched a shutout in the second half, which is huge, got us 3 turnovers. And then I thought the offense did a really good job just being kind of methodical in our drives, getting way behind the sticks in certain situations, almost extended drives in a way with all the penalties, but no 3-and-outs, 9 of 16 on 3rd downs, 1 of 1 on 4th down. So very efficient game. Definitely left some points out there. I think even scored a couple times on a drive where we end up with no points because of penalties, and then the field goal blocking, which we've got to shore up. So there's definitely still some things to shore up, some things to work on. But we're very excited to get in this normal routine of in season. We had a Thursday game, the first game, a night game at that. We have a Florida game, the second game with basically 72 hours of travel, and getting home at 8:30 in the morning on a Sunday has made even this week feel very fast. But now for 10 weeks straight, 9 games in the bye week, we get the normal Monday through Saturday routine and Sundays off. So we think our team will show more improvement over the next month than we have at any point.
So the Tigers won 28-10, and we could take a look at some of our bigger players in this one. Jagger Gillis threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Nate Monroe had a little bit of a coming out party, 4 catches, 90 yards, averaging around 20 yards a catch roughly, and a touchdown. And of course, Ellis Reed out there, one of your leaders on the defense, 6 tackles. He had a tackle for loss in that 53-yard pick 6. The defense getting things done. It was good to see Jacoby Miguel back up as a leading tackler again on this team. What's that meant for him and for the leadership of your defense as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jacoby specifically, has worked so hard after a pretty severe injury and a really tough injury for him and the team last year in camp. He's been a great player here before, and to see him get back and play just as good and probably play his best football, that's a huge spark. I think we mentioned in one of the first shows is we almost kind of forgot that, and we have Jacoby. And I think you saw in the game Saturday that the depth that we've built, the development of the second, third string guys, some guys that were in the Futures Bowls every week last year and the Futures Lifts every week last year, seeing those guys go into a game where we needed to substitute a lot because of the heat and because of the physicality of the game. because of the amount of plays that were ran on offense, all those things. That was really cool to see, and very proud of those twos and threes that stepped in, and there was no drop off at all.
And we'll talk about your offense and the adjustment made. So that first half, it almost seemed like by the time you looked up at the scoreboard at the end of the half, you all took the lead just before the end of the half. It was 14-10. You put together, I believe it was a 14-15 play, 75-yard drive, and you end the half on top. And we remarked on the broadcast, it was one of those feelings where you looked up at the board and you go, it's hard to believe we're up 4.
Yeah.
It's not how it felt. But when you all came out of the half, it was a totally different looking offense as well as a defense. So what were some of those adjustments? What at halftime specifically came out and gave you all that big turning point?
We felt the same way going into half. Told the staff, that's probably about as sloppy offensively as we could play. It wasn't bad offensively. It was just a little bit, inefficient and sloppy penalties, missed opportunities. Just the rhythm of the offense was getting thrown off. I tell the guys a lot, really in a joking manner, but not really even as a joke, is, I'm not a very good 1st and 25 play caller, not a very good 3rd and 22 play caller. There's not a lot of great options at that point. The defense has definitely got all the advantage, but our guys showed a lot of resilience. Even that drive right before the half, it wasn't really the most pretty drive that we've had. Yeah. It wasn't just, boom, boom, boom down the field, everything's working. It was some big 3rd down conversions, Dre with another great 4th down catch to set us up for a situational score. But that was huge. They got the ball coming out of half, and you're down 10-7 at half. It's definitely a different feel. But to be up 14-10, to get the pick 6 and to go up 2 scores coming right out of the half, that was huge. So, as I said, I feel like while statistically it was a really good game, even in the passing game, I think there's a lot left out on that plate. And we want to see that, take it to the next level. We've taken a huge step as a program. You can see that in these first 2 weeks. But we're not just building to win, football games. We're building to win championships. And while we try to take it one day and one opponent at a time, we know there's a bigger goal at the end of the day that we're working for every day. And it's those small things in season that you've got to be able to improve on and fix really fast.
And I'll say something, our very talented videographer, Zach Clements, I love watching his videos at the end, and it had you specifically at the end talking about we don't want this win to be the hindrance on our season and being able to improve upon what we've done. I love the mentality and the way you've been running this ship. And when we come back, we're going to sit down and talk with defensive line coach, Coach Jeff Owens, here on Under Center with Jake Russell.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look.
Hello and welcome back to Under Center with Jake Russell. I'm your host, Collin Sheffield. Alongside me, Coach Owens, the defensive line coach. Coach, how are you doing? It's always a pleasure when our paths cross. It's one of those things that you just light up a room. You always light up any time that I see you. You're just an energetic person to be around.
Well, I definitely appreciate that. Like I say, as coaches, we got to bring the energy. And as defensive line, you can't play D-line without high energy. Like I say, the D-line, we got to be the heart and soul of the defense. We got to bring the energy, got to have the right mentality, and we got to have the right discipline. So I bring the energy every day. That's my personality. Love to, like I say, outgoing guy that just want to, do whatever I can to make this team win.
How was it down there in that heat and Weber for you, trying to coach your guys there on the D-line? Bigger guys, and they're out there in that heat just trying to get through, put some pressure on the quarterback, and stop that run between Weems and Scarborough. Those boys were having a day, and, they were having to work pretty hard down the field. Luckily, the offense able to give your guys a little breather every now and again and put together some longer drives. But how was that heat for them?
It started out kind of rough, something we had to get used to, but I'm so thankful that this whole training camp we did practice in the heat 3:30 every day, so it was scorching hot, so it just gave us the ability to be prepared. Also, we do a lot of conditioning. That's one thing our defense does every day after practice. After we run in half gases, we still do our conditioning, something that we call baseball runs that Coach Ford implemented last year, and it really helped us out because a lot of guys was able to stay fresh. We rotated a bunch of guys up front and in the back end, so a lot of guys got a chance to get reps. And, we didn't have too many guys on the defense side, that wasn't able to make it throughout the game. And that's just a testament to what we did this offseason. Coach Lane, with the weight room program, and also Coach Ford implementing those baseball runs that helped us, be able to maintain and focus and stay and play hard in that heat.
Shout out some of your defensive linemen specifically for me. Tell me, what they've done for this program so far, what they're doing this season, maybe something off the field that really just is a testament to them.
Well, we got a great group of guys. Got some transfers here. We actually got Big Tank, number 99, who's had a stellar game, transfer from Union. Also got Terry Brown, grad transfer from Faulkner. He's having a tremendous year as well. Also, Jaden Cray at the defensive end, number 91. He's coming along. He's from Florida, so it was good to get him back home and play hard. And Keelan Lamar, who's actually doing a tremendous job for us at the defensive end spot. He's also moving inside, playing a little nose guard, so he's having a tremendous year, and this is junior year. He actually came with us over from KCU. So right now, those are the starters. Also as well, rotating with those guys, we got Jay Arnold, who transferred from U-Pike, who's playing tremendous. He's coming along well. Also, we got Malachi Moulton, who's one of the twins. He's number 92 at the defensive tackle spot, so he's coming along well. Also, Caden Partnett, who's a guy that was with us last year. He's developing and getting better. Also, too, I can't forget Alan Pears. He's actually had a tremendous game out from California, so he wasn't really used to the heat, but he's coming along well. And those guys are playing well, playing together. That's the main thing I want, and just building that culture and building that bond. But just some of the stuff off the field, we actually, since the season started, we haven't had too much to do, but we are actually planning on doing a whole lot, working with Green River Ministries and working with local organizations, just trying to give back in the community, make a difference for this Campbellsville community because, we love the support that we get from the community, also just from all around, and we just want to give back and make a difference where we are.
Now, you mentioned, some mainstays like Jaden Cray, Caden Partneck, people that have been around the program for their whole career, but then you also have people that have transferred in from Reinhardt, from Union. So what has it been like trying to meld those guys together when you bring in these transfers and you try to put them with guys that are already on the team? I know you all had to deal with that some last season as well. New coaching staff, had a lot of guys from KCU coming in as well. But what's it like when you get guys from those established programs like that and then you bring them in and try to fit them into your mold?
Well, the good thing is we brought in older guys, all 2 grad transfers and 2 seniors pretty much. So guys that has played a lot of football, guys that, want to come in and be leaders and role models. And we was young last year on the defense side. And that's why this year we had to bring in some more mature guys that have played, that could come in and help develop the younger guys that's behind them. So I think it actually helped out tremendously. I think the older guys really bought into the culture, bought into the system, and just really came in to try to make a difference and make an impact. And that's what I really think helped us out. This year, like you say, with the transfer portal and getting guys from different places, it's a hit or miss. But, we did our research on these guys, and Coach Russ, did a phenomenal job of getting the right guys in here in the program to help make this defensive line get better. And they actually have done a great job, and hopefully we continue to put pressure on that quarterback and get to him.
Now, you don't have to give away any secrets, because last time I was down on the field, Coach Ford got after me for questioning Coach Atwood too hard, so you don't have to give anything away. But what do you expect, and how are you preparing your team and your defensive line to go up against this Union front?
Well, they're a young front, but our goal is just play Campbellsville football. We want to get after them on both sides of the ball, but definitely on the defense side. And the main thing is just continue to get better, week by week. It's only week 3. We have a lot of growth that we have to do, and we still just not where we want to be. And so we just want to play fast, play physical, and just give it our all. And not only that, we want to rotate. We want to get younger guys reps so that they can develop, week by week. And that's the goal is, right now we're just the beginning of the season. Where we want to be in 4 to 5 weeks is not where we want to be right now. So we just got to continue to get better. And the main thing, just be physical up front, just try to dominate the line of scrimmage and create a new line of scrimmage each play, play good with our hands, play with great pad level, and just really dominate.
Year 2 in Campbellsville, what has it felt like, being able to, now you have a full season under your belt, you've been here for a year, what's it been like being here for this second year?
It's been great. The community has very embraced us. Bunch of churches and organizations are helping out the program, which we love. It's actually, my family loves it. My son plays for Campbellsville in the Eagles. So we actually embrace the community. My wife working she's actually on the PTO in the schools. So we just trying to, really make Campbellsville our home. We love this place. Love Green River, the lake out there, and it's just been a great place, to grow children and develop even as a family. So this is a place we love, and we call home, and actually inviting other family members to come down and check it out. So we actually enjoy Campbellsville.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for your time, and I can't wait to see you guys in Barberville.
Thank you.
When we come back, we'll sit down with head coach Jake Russell to talk about the upcoming matchup against Union here on Under Center with Jake Russell.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back to Under Center with Jake Russell. I'm your host, Collin Sheffield. Alongside me for the final segment, Coach Jake Russell. Coach Russell, now you're still on the road. You head back out. This is the final one of a 3-game road stand before you head back home to face Bluefield. But you still have work to do. Union is on the road in Barberville, and you got a day game again, so a 1 o'clock kick. What's it like going down to Barberville now that you maybe perhaps are a little more settled in and you can have a little bit more of a routine for that 1 o'clock kick?
Yeah, I think routine is important in football. It's a very unique sport. We play on the same day each and every week for the most part. And it now gets you into this really good weekly schedule of here's the plan of attack on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Obviously, Saturday's game day. We take every Sunday off. And so now, like I mentioned before, I think you're going to see this very vast and extreme improvement from our guys. This is kind of the time of year that coaches love. We now will have multiple games on every opponent we play from this season to scout. We'll do a great job preparing scouting reports, offensively, defensively, special teams-wise. And we're very excited. I was telling the guys, yesterday, we've got day trips and home games. There's no more long travel. There's no more even overnight trips. There's no more Thursday games. And so we're really excited to kind of just get into a normal routine. It's also important for our guys. They've got a lot on their plate other than traveling and playing football. They've got school. I mean, there were guys doing homework in the hotel, Thursday night after our 9 p.m. practice at Mercer University, doing homework at 11 p.m. in the lobby. Probably had procrastinated, it was probably due at midnight, but they're still getting it done. So I'm proud of the guys, the way they've handled these first 2 weeks that really weren't easy, and to come out of there 2-0.
So Union is 0-1 on the season. They lost one to Cumberland University, I believe, to start their season. It looked like a lot of freshmen starting in those spots in the 2 deep. So what are some of those things that you look forward when you have a lot of freshmen that you have to face off against?
Yeah, just treating it the same. I mean, Union had a really good year last year. Coach Luttrell's done a great job of implementing his culture and his style of play, and really getting that program to improve over the last few years. And, I coached with Coach Luttrell. He gave me my first offensive coordinator opportunity, and forever grateful to him for that. And we know one thing when we play Union and when we've played them over the last few years, it's going to be a very physical game. They're very physical up front on both sides of the ball. They're very aggressive defensively in the box. And, even though they've got some freshmen on the 2 deep and they've got a younger roster after graduating some really good older guys that have played there a long time, they're very talented. So, the score of the Cumberland U game was a little bit deceptive. It was definitely closer in the third and early fourth quarter than even the score said. Union's a team that's going to win some games in the AAC conference this year and continue to improve. And they've still got some guys that have played a lot of snaps over there. They're going to run the ball well. They're going to try to stop the run well. And it's not going to be, one of those games where you just go in, show up, and win the football game. You're going to have to show up and play well in their home stadium to come out with a win.
The Tigers are looking for their first 3-0 start since 2017 when Hunter Brown was quarterbacking for the Tigers, and before that, 2003. So what does it feel like maybe in that locker room, just the flip, really, of knowing that you all are on such a run here as of late for the Fighting Tiger program?
Yeah, like you said, it's different than last year. We have a different feel. We have a better team. We have the guys that were on both teams. Pretty much everybody has improved and done a great job of taking the responsibility to get better. Our coaching staff has done a better job, had more time, in the process. Last year we start 0-2. We kind of had to have a, where's this going? Who do we want to be? How do we get this turned around? And we run off, I think, 4 straight wins. Well, this year, now you don't get that, you have nothing to lose mentality, right? Because you are 2-0. But I think, again, as we alluded to earlier, the big thing is how can we have a great practice today? How can we have a great, meeting Monday? How can we get better in each and every moment throughout the week? Because that's so hard to do when you start 2-0, and if you can get to 3-0, 4-0, maybe you'll enter the rankings, then people start to talk about you, then you start to really realize that those aspirations and goals you set forth before the year are realistic. Hey, we have a chance to win the conference. We have a chance to go to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. We may even have a chance to host the first home game home playoff game in Campbellsville history. Well, with all that looking ahead, the temptation can be to do that instead of focusing in the moment. And that's something that's going to be really important for our team. We have a really good team, a team capable of winning every game on our schedule. But if we start to put our eyes, too far down the road, that can become a big hindrance to us, as you mentioned earlier.
And it's so important for starts like these and getting that up, especially in your second season here. I know it could be tough trying to recruit not only in your first season, but to a team that hasn't been on the map for as long. And now you're able to kind of put them, you're starting to reappear on the map, so to speak. And so now it makes, things administratively, recruiting-wise, makes things a little easier for guys to, sign over, say, hey, this is a place I want to be. This is a winning football program.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. When you recruit, you want to be able to sell facts. We have great facilities. We have great academics. We have a great university here at Campbellsville. Those are all facts. We can bring a guy here, show the guy, the player and their parents and their people, all those things, and say this is real. Like we are, not selling a false reality. But when it comes to the football side of it, what we had to sell and what we're selling is a vision. This is a program that has not had a winning season in several years, has not been to the playoffs in over 10 years now, has only won one playoff game in the history. So you're selling a vision that this program is going to go to places it's never been. And getting young men to buy into that's been huge, and our staff's done a great job of that. Like you said, now you start to see the steps being made that, hey, I'm seeing the vision come to reality, but there's still a lot of steps to be had. There's still a lot of things to do, and we still have great competition in recruiting. Our state's one of the best for NAI. Our conference is the best for NAI, and we're always fighting these other teams for players. But most importantly, I think as we talked about in the first show, we got a lot of young men that are bought into what we're doing now in our program. We got a lot of guys that had opportunities or had excuses to go somewhere else and have chosen to stay, and that's paid off big time for us.
And again, at the risk of leaving anybody out in this next ball game, who do you expect maybe to look out for? Who should the Tiger fans be listening for to maybe have a breakout game?
Yeah, I think the defense is set up to play really, really well. Coach Ford and his defensive staff are doing a phenomenal job. I think that you're going to see defensively probably the biggest improvement overall on the team just as a unit. Our linebacking core, there's literally a dozen guys in that linebacking core that Coach Atwood and Coach Gribbins helping them out there are doing a great job with, but about a dozen guys that would play and possibly start for most teams in the country. And when we rotate guys in there, one, it keeps them fresh, but two, there's no drop-off. And so, man, those guys are just an elite group. The defensive line is just shown huge improvement from last year, pressuring the quarterback and stopping the run game. And then our secondary, while young, a little bit inexperienced, we got some experienced guys back there. Man, those guys have shown up and played. So I think that's what you're going to see. And then offensively, running the ball well, right? A little bit deceptive in the stats that we ran the ball better than the stats said. Some of the penalties, it's tough to run the ball on 2nd and 25. Or 3rd and 20, all those different type of things. So we're going to get back to running the ball really well this week. And then I think even more than those two things, you're going to see the special teams unit start to create some big momentum-changing plays.
Well, Coach, best of luck in Barbourville. Can't wait to see you guys down there.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
The Tigers head out on the road for their final stint of this 3-game road trip, and they'll head to Barbourville, Kentucky to take on Union College. That kickoff is set for 1 o'clock. We will be in Barbourville, myself and Khalil. You can tune in to 88.7 The Tiger as well as on the TuneIn app. Be sure to join us next week on Under Center with Jake Russell.